minutiae of details, so just try to keep it on the broad picture, if you can. Thanks.
Sure, sorry. So basically, he's not, the word lestes doesn't even mean pirate in there. The word lestes means robber anyway, but the way he's wound it together, it sounds like everybody's up in arms against robbers, pirates coming to steal children. And the text doesn't say that at all.
Jesus, right? At that time, Jesus said to the people, right? Why have you come out against me like a lestes with your big weapons, your big clubs, big swords? How come you've come out against me like I'm a lestes? All right? You don't do that to a thief. So the lie that has been perpetuated to you, the narrative about Jesus, he was crucified between two traffickers of humans. And in the middle, sitting right there in the middle, he was saying, I'm not one of these traffickers. And it's only because of that naked kid. It makes you wonder, if that naked kid hadn't been there with Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane, if the naked kid wasn't there with him, would he have had to have died? Would that crowd have been so angry? Isn't it going to be surprising when you find out Jesus Christ was crucified because he was a pervert who was selling children? Yeah, that's going to surprise people.
Right, I'll carry on there.
Oh, I'm sorry, children. Once you see the origin of your master, he can shovel whatever he wants into your mouth. You still got to look at him for what he is. And that is the great letdown, as they call it in future history studies. The great letdown, when human civilization learned through a satanic congregation that Jesus Christ was a trafficker, a sex trafficker of children. So drugged, oh God. Who was it that told him that? Who was it? Go back, Chewy. Look it up. Do you know who did so? The Muse did so. That's who deserves the credit. Let's go. Give it to me. And she was like, you tell him, Mom, about this guy. You tell him. Just, look, this is some creepy stuff about he's going to come like a thief, kleptes. And there, for the people who say lestes is a thief, no, this is the actual word for kleptes here. Right? You got to know, baby.
Right.
Okay, now
Okay, that's enough of him. Whoops, sorry, I need to shut him up. Sorry. Let me just shut him up first, sorry. Okay, back to StreamYard. All right, so I think you can gather there. He very freely reinterprets, and at the same time is completely dismissive of all other scholarship. Only he has the truth, of course. They're all clouded with their theology. They can't read the text properly because they're seeing it through their theological lens. You know,
when we were a bit over this, and I think even if you hadn't speeded up that clip, I can't imagine anybody that I know watching that and not thinking the guy is just barking mad. So I think we just want to get into the depths of that insanity that Hillman seems to be embodying and inflicting on others. I don't think we need to beat around the bush here. There is somebody in his little cult commenting on Rumble, by the way, just for your information. Somebody goes by the name of Gandhi.
Jonathan Gandhi. Hi, Gandhi.
Yeah. So I can't remember if I was going to say anything now. Maybe that was all I wanted to say, really. Oh, yeah. What's his end game? What's his mission? What's he trying to bring about?
Okay.
The apocalypse.
All right. Well, this is the other reel. Now, having already pinned him as a trafficker, all the time he's outrage farming, and it makes it sound like he's just disgusted at this awful Jesus. I can put a link to a particular interview that he did where he outlines all the minutiae of a quite horrendous procedure that has to be done to young prepubescent children in order to prepare them to become the drug factory of the drug that he will then use for the performance of the mystery. I haven't yet said it, but I'll say it now. His mission is to bring back Lady Babylon, which, if you look in Revelation, she has this cup of porneia. And this cup of porneia, he is saying, is what is produced through her body, entered vaginally, but it is this particular cocktail that's absorbed by her, and then it comes out in the milk. And this was back in history, but now he wants to have priestesses prepared so that at the age of 12, where they're just budding, where the breasts are just budding, they're just coming into puberty, that apparently is when the most potent drugs are made. So he has to have children between the ages of 9 and 12 on a drug regime to be prepared for producing this antidote. And it's also a puberty blocker as well. And having produced this, which is that's the antidote, but the people are given another different cocktail of I don't know how many venoms as the death inducer to put them into a near-death state. And they will die unless they're given the antidote, which is only produced via a child's body. All right, so that is the essence of the mystery, and that you will hear is his intention to reproduce. I will now share StreamYard. I'll present the other reel, and you can hear from his own mouth what he intends, or what his vision is, what his hope is, what he's leading up to.
What are we waiting for?
This is important. You'll get that.
Yeah, but we can't see it.
Oh, sorry.
You're not presented. It's not posted.
Sorry, wrong one.
It's not posted. It's Ammon's vision. You need to share that one.
Yeah, sorry, I made a mistake there. You heard that.
Okay, click present. Share screen. Ammon's vision, top one. Okay. Share. Done. That's it.
Right, we get there.
Baptists. Do you understand?
Right, I'll just take that back. Sorry about that. I don't want to play it all again. But I will talk about this 93 before we go any further. This is a fabricated number. I was in that live chat. There were well over 100 of us, and I saw maybe 2 or 3 not guilty verdicts. This is at the end of 2023, after he'd built up this seeming criminality of Jesus, and he had some rather bizarre crimes that we were supposed to be voting on. None of them was, oh, you were a wicked child abuser. None of that. But the essence of it, when you actually hear, is that he was trafficking, that he was profiteering, that he was basically doing it for money. And that is the vote. But he was so subtle slipping it in. I'm sorry I didn't catch I wanted to get that into the reel to begin with, but I just didn't have time to find that one. So the 93, for those that know Crowley's work, well, no, 93 is the number of Thelema. And Thelema is supposed to be practiced with love and respect. But for Ammon, that doesn't seem to be his operandum. And Thelema's dictum is, do what thou wilt, is the whole of the law, so that you can fulfill your purpose. And Ammon's purpose is to bring in the Antichrist, and he has changed the word Christ to become a drug term. And I've not time to go through all of that. I will have a web page up for that. It's not complete yet, but I'll have a web page describing how he has twisted the word Christ into a drug term. But of course, an Antichrist is the antidote. All right, so Christ is the dote, Antichrist is the antidote. The antidote is this resurrection drug which has to go through the child. So that's his purpose. He has to bring in the Antichrist, the antidote. He has to find this. This is his mission, so that he can then offer this mystery to the world. You'll see.
Store the muse.
I'll move
Thank
it
you.
on a bit.
Kings.
I'll move it on a bit. Sorry, I'll find where he was the next one. There we go. And here's talk about
saying,
sadism.
no, this is not good to be profiteering, right, off of this basically slave trade.
That's right, I missed it.
Do you know why? Find out what's next.
Sorry.
Against the culture at the time that is saying, no, this is not good to be profiteering, right, off of this basically slave trade.
Okay, right, you've got that.
Do you know why we take up the cross? Because we're Baptists. Do you understand that in the mysteries there is sadism? If you don't understand that, you're not seeing antiquity. You're seeing the fairy tale, right, that came from it. But that's all you're seeing. You're not seeing genuine antiquity. Stuff that Jesus said won't make sense until you understand the actual words, the actual flavors that he's producing, right? You want to understand?
All right, got that.
Look at that human form. And then you can worship the human form. Oh my God, you worship the human form? Why would you do that? Because it's a thing of beauty. It's a thing of beauty. Do you see how monism saps the nature? Just like Paul was saying, it saps the nature out of the culture. Monism needs you to be detached from your natural roots so that when you look into the eyes of he or she whom you find beautiful, that there's that incredible thing that happens. Yeah. Ooh. Right? That's what we need to stifle. This is what Bacchus releases, is this power. This is what the Christ does.
Sorry that I can't think of the word. Anyway, they were out of sync. Sorry about that. Now that was quite an important clip. I want to talk about this one. His thrust is to return to the Greek way of morality to some extent. But he's accusing the monist religions, which are your Judaism, your Christianity, and your Islam that came out of, well, Abraham in the past. That he's accusing them of bringing in these very prudish regulations on sexuality, and they're false because they're going against nature. All right? This is how he twists things. And that it's natural to follow your natural urges, and this is what he endorses, which is what that clip was about. When you look in the eye of your beloved, how old is this person? There's no restriction because pederasty was, Zeus had his Ganymede. Nero had his, can't remember his name, Patroclus, can't remember his name, and it was normal. It was totally normal, quite okay with children.
Yeah, that's a Victorian sentiment, right? The guys are looking around like, not me. No. It's mostly in a bad sense. Yeah. Okay, now you know what the paiderastes is. And yes, we get our English word, pederast. The Christ who is in the position of opening the eyes. That Christ is the pederast. This is a direct link between the definition, the classical definition of a pederast, and the performance of the Christ mystery. Yeah.
And he calls it Christ mystery, doesn't he?
Thank you, Ammon. It's all dirty stuff. Dirty prophets doing sick acts. Things that make your stomach churn. Yet strangely interesting and attractive to us as victims of Eros. It's those of us who swim in that harbor of Venus. Those of you who are part of Satanic Initiation, who understand, who have eyes to see. Those of you who, from the throne, guide the world. Yes, I'm speaking to you.
All right, I'll stop there. This is a very bizarre charade he put on at the beginning of 2024. It's him dressed up as Satan, talking to him as Ammon. And there's a lot in that. I'm not going to bring it all up, but in that, because he had the 93,